All right, sorry this video is coming out late. I was off work Tuesday, Wednesday. Didn't feel like making a video. Sorry, guys. So you got one late, which is a good thing because Deshaun Watson's out for the season, which sucks. But he was going to be the chalk, and you were going to pay a lot for him, and you were going to pay a lot for Hopkins. Now you don't have to do that. So it's probably a good thing I'm doing this video late, so I get to talk about it. Last week, I said Russell Wilson, number one quarterback, and Jimmy Graham was the number one tight end. Talked about Elliott, McCoy, and Gordon being the top three to pay up for those guys. So if you listen to me, good job. This week, I'm going to do my lineups earlier because not doing my lineups till later is killing me. I don't get to do exactly like exposure that I want. So I'm going to do all my lineups tonight during the Jets-Bills game. That's why I'm wearing my Geno Smith jersey. My buddy got me this jersey as a joke. Joke's on him. Still wearing it. So yeah, I'll go into quarterbacks. Breeze, Carr, Cam, and Russell. Those are my big guys this week. So Russell, yeah, you're going to pay up for him. I'm going to do FanDuel because I've been breaking down DraftKings prices and I'm getting questions about Sunday night. I said this in my last video. And then I forget to go over the Sunday night game. And when I make my FanDuel lineups, all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't even know who's playing Sunday night. So I'm just going to go over FanDuel prices because just add $1,000 to it, and that's DraftKings. So Russell Wilson, he's got Washington. Josh Norman should be playing, so that takes down Doug Baldwin a little bit. But Washington is not good against the wide receiver 2, I believe. No, they're still good against the wide receiver 2. Yeah, they're still good against them. So, yeah, don't even worry about that. They're not good against the tight end, so that bumps up Jimmy Graham. Just the fact that it's Russell Wilson in October when he's just been on fire is why I like him. But he's outside of my big three. My big three are Breeze, Carr, and Cam. And then I got Russell on the outside. I just still talk about him a little bit. Drew Brees, he's going to be chalky, and he's only averaging 18 points. So you never want to pay up for someone that doesn't even have a high ceiling. But he's at home. He's got one of the best matchups you can have. They're just running the ball more and playing a better defense. So I have him listed at right there with Russell Wilson. They're the same price. I'm going to have limited exposure to both of them, but I do want some exposure because his matchup is so good in the dome. Tampa Bay is also bad against the run. So they are ranked 20th against the run and 25th against pass backs. So Ingram and Kamara, both good. As I say before, if I think it's a high-scoring game, I like to stack the quarterback and the running back. It's a lower-owned stack, and you have more exposure to the entire offense. And it still gives me a stack, but it also lets me play other wide receivers that I want. So I don't really like Dak. So we don't really know what to do about this. Alfred Morris is getting the start because Ezekiel Elliott's suspended for now. So Dak's going to have to throw it more. Well, Kansas City's not great against the pass by any means of what they've been showing, but they're not bad against it either. They're bad against a wide receiver 1, but that's pretty much it. So, yeah, you would want to think Dez, but I don't know why Marcus Peters wouldn't shadow him, and they bring a safety over the top to cover Dez because the run game it's not there until they prove it. So I don't like Dak. I know he's been going crazy. I don't like him. Carson Wentz, he's got Denver. Wentz, Ertz, because Denver's not great against the tight end. They're not great against wide receiver 2. So Wentz, Torrey Smith, no one's going to have that stack. It's a low-owned stack that gets you exposure to Carson Wentz. It's in Philly, and their defense, so like Denver's defense is on the field so much because their offense sucks that they get tired in the later on, third, fourth. So Carson Wentz is going to be lower owned because he's facing Denver, and he's kind of going to be like the Deshaun Watson last week, that he's got a scary matchup, so people won't play him. The thing is, Houston, Seattle, all the money kept moving towards the over, and everyone thought it would be a lot of people thought it would be a high-scoring game. This one, not so much. Brock Osweiler's throwing, or going to try to throw. He's going to throw to someone, probably Philadelphia. And Carson Wentz is coming in against Denver. So That's tough. I don't really like him too much there, especially for his price. I see better options. Dallas is playing Kansas City. They're hosting them. I would love to bet on Kansas City this week. They're not favored for some reason, so I don't know why. Like they're a far superior team, but Kansas City, like I said, is not good against wide receiver one. Dallas is not good against wide receiver two or the tight end. So obviously Travis Kelce's in play every week. This week he's got a real good matchup. You're always going to get Alex Smith, Travis Kelce at a lower ownership for a stack. It's just not a sexy stack. People don't like playing it. But you could play Alex Smith, not so much Tyreek Hill, although I don't see them being able to slow him down. I see him more having a higher probability of having a boom week than a bust week. But I don't really like him. I like Derek Carr. He's probably going to be my highest owned quarterback this week. I've been pretty good on hitting quarterbacks lately, so we'll see. But Miami just got rid of Jay. He hasn't really been doing anything anyway. But that just, unless they saw something from Kenyon Drake or they didn't like Jay back there, that tells you they're not going to be running the ball as much. They're going to try to throw. That's fine with me. Miami's defense against the pass is bottom in the league, 28th. Miami also against the run. They are third against the run, 26th against passing running backs. That favors DeAndre Washington a little bit. He's going to be a low value guy or a decent value, low own, low price. But Oakland's not good against a wide receiver one. Miami's not good against a wide receiver two. Oakland's not good against wide receiver two. Oakland's just not a good defense. Miami is a decent defense, shouldn't be too great. But I see this actually being a shootout, an ugly one. But Miami's offense sucks. I see them having to throw to keep up with Oakland's offense. But I don't see Miami's defense being able to slow down mostly Carr and Crabtree. Crabtree's better at away games. So I like Crabtree in this. But yeah, I like Derek Carr a lot. I know he's not averaging a lot of points, but he's been hurt, so that hurts him. See, other than that, Cam Newton depends on. I don't even know where Cam Newton is on this. What's the Monday night game? Detroit. So Cam Newton is 7,600 on FanDuel, so you should get him at a decent price. On DraftKings, there he is. So last week I had a lot of Cam Newton, and it hurt me. I didn't check the weather update that it was that windy, or else I would have had more Russell, probably more Dak and more Kirk. But this week he's in Carolina. Weather's good. I checked, so he should be good there. I know Kelvin Benjamin was his buddy, but the whole point of trading them was to obviously gain more assets for next year. But Devin Funchess is just this massive receiver, essentially the same thing as Kelvin Benjamin. So they were trying to roll out a 6'4" and a 6'5" wide receiver out on the sides, and they didn't have that deep threat because of Ted Ginn was gone. When Ted Ginn was there last year, they had those deep shots, and it kept the safeties. I forget the word. It kept the safeties back, honest. And that just means the safeties weren't playing up front. They couldn't blitz. Opposing teams couldn't blitz the way they wanted to. But now they're going to unleash Curtis Samuel. So I was looking into the Kelvin Benjamin trade because I wasn't really sure about it on Carolina's part. But yeah, they were good with Funchess being their main guy and Curtis Samuel potentially being their main guy, but they want to unleash him as their deep threat. So I like Curtis Samuel a lot this week. I think he's going to be extremely low owned. I think Devin Funchess is going to be extremely high owned, but only Funchess. I don't think it's going to be a Cam Newton stack. So I like Cam. He's running more than he was. So I like him there. Atlanta is 25th versus the pass. Talk too much in these videos. And I don't think that's going to be a Tampa Bay, Carolina low scoring game. I think it's going to be a lot of touchdowns scored, decent over under there. So I like that. And then Carolina's got a good defense and Atlanta does not have a good offense. So they're going to have to be throwing to try to keep up. I think Carolina wins this game at home handedly, but I do think they're going to keep scoring just because it's Atlanta. They're going to have to just the potential for Atlanta scoring is going to make Carolina keep scoring. Um, Atlanta is 32nd in the league against wide receiver 2. So I feel like Devin Funchess moves into that wide receiver 1 role. So if you look at their depth chart, Devin Funchess is number 1 and Curtis Samuel is number 2. So Atlanta's 32nd against wide receiver 2. So I will have a lot of Cam Newton, Curtis Samuel, more Curtis Samuel because of his price than I will have Cam Newton because Cam Newton's wish-washy. But he's at home coming off a bad game. Curtis Samuel's 4,700 on FanDuel. He's probably going to be minimum priced on DraftKings as well, or right at it. Just the amount of volume he's going to get now being the number 2 receiver, I like it in the deep shots. So, yeah, as for quarterback, Drew Brees and Russell Wilson I'm going to have less exposure to, and Derek Carr, Cam Newton I'm going to have higher exposure to. Brees has turned into the chalk because of Deshaun Watson's injury. Brees will be up there at home against a horrible Tampa Bay secondary. So I like that. Carson Wentz is going to be low-owned, and Alex Smith will be low-owned. So just people to, if you make, like I say, if you make a few lineups, and I just write, sometimes as I do these, as I talk, I'm just like, yeah, I need to write that down. Smith and Wentz low-owned, just due to their matchup. And just due to it being Alex Smith. So going into running backs, this is pretty easy. Once again, pay up for running back. Hunt has an amazing matchup. Dallas is 30th against the run and 20th against pass-catching running backs. So Kareem Hunt is everything. They also lost Ezekiel Elliott, so now Dallas can't even hold the ball as much as they want. I see Kansas City. Like I said, Dallas is favored by a point, so it's pretty much a pick 'em. But I don't know why. Kansas City should win this game easily. Dallas's secondary is bad. I'm going to target this game, not heavily, but I will target the Kansas City side with Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, Alex Smith. It's hard to target Kansas City because Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt are so expensive. Even Alex Smith is up there in price. So I'll be targeting this offense in majority of lineups. I'll have a little bit of it here and there just so I have exposure to Kansas City pretty much in everything. But I think they put a lot of points on Dallas. AP, I put a question mark next to Adrian Peterson. He's got a great lineup, or he's got a great matchup, but he just lost Carson Palmer, so now he's got Drew Stanton. There's no reason to think they don't put 8 in the box against Adrian Peterson and make Drew Stanton throw against him. I'm not a defensive coordinator by any means, but yeah, I'm going to put 8 in the box and have a guy named Drew Stanton try to throw against me because everything that Drew Stanton's done in the NFL so far, yeah, it's not good. So Kareem Hunt, Todd Gurley, those should be your main guys this week. It's really nothing else about it. It's a pretty easy pick. Rams are playing in New York. New York's 24th against the run, 22nd against pass backs. Gurley does all of this. So pay up at running back this week if you want a couple value guys. Usually I don't like saying just pick the number 1 and 2 guys. Like, obviously, like, why even bother making a video if you're just going to say pick the top guys? So AP is an easy pick. I'm going to have a slight bit of exposure to him. I think he's going to be really chalky, and I think they stack the box against him. McCaffrey is going to a little uptick in targets just because Kelvin Benjamin's gone. So I usually don't play him on FanDuel. DraftKings obviously play him. I feel like I talk about McCaffrey every week. He barely gets any touches in the run game, and he gets targets in the passing game. So he doesn't ever get to run, and he's a wide receiver that's not even on the field and running routes all the time. So I don't really like him. As long as his price is good, he's a flex play for me, but I rarely use him. And a lot of people, his ownership's always way too high just because his potential, but not his ceiling. So a lot of people look at, oh, well, he's such a great player. He's so dynamic. Cool, he hasn't really done anything. Other than on DraftKings, he's got a few, like, I think he had a 20-point game and like a teen and something in the teens. But like, he's going to get you double-digit points, but plenty of other guys will do that for lower ownership with a higher ceiling. I like Doug Martin. New Orleans is, I believe they're 29th against the running back. So that's good with me. Winston should be playing. I think this is going to be another high-scoring game. Tampa Bay's defense is atrocious, and They're going to have to throw. New Orleans defense is a little overrated right now. They've had some easy matchups and going against Brett Hundley and a few other injury-ridden quarterbacks. So, like, they played Matt Stafford when he was beat up. They played Brett Hundley. Like, their defense is a little overrated. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than most think, just because Tampa Bay came off like a 7-point loss, and then New Orleans defense is stifling people. So I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a lower scoring game, but yeah, I don't think so at all. Vegas has it at 50, so that's the second highest. The only other one is Indy at Houston, and the only reason that was 51.5 was because Deshaun Watson. So my bad, Kansas City, Dallas, 51, which I said I'd have a lot of exposure to. So the over-under on the Indy-Houston game is going to change. I checked that today before Watson got hurt, but that's going to change. The under is going to go down. Kansas City, Dallas, 51. That's fine with me. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. But Tampa Bay, New Orleans is a high-scoring game. Vegas thinks it's going to be a over-under of 50.5. So anytime you get high 40s, you want to play people from that game. This one's going to be Winston's going to be fine to throw, and it's in the dome. So the only reason Winston was beat up and it was super windy. Now he gets New Orleans. Drew Brees is going to throw against a horrible Tampa Bay. Winston's going to have to throw. Anytime you get a high-scoring game, you want to target the running back as well, because why not? Like, he's probably going to score. He's got a better chance to score. DeMarco Murray, I put a question mark next to it because Derrick Henry. Baltimore is 14th against the rush and getting better, and they are 29th against the pass back. That's why I put a question mark next to Murray. He's got a decent matchup, but if he is splitting reps with Henry, then you don't want him. There's better plays. So I like Hunt, Gurley, somewhat McCaffrey on DraftKings, and Doug Martin. Lamar Miller, because Deshaun Watson's out, Lamar Miller should be good. Indy is horrible against the run. They are 19th against the run, 32nd against pass backs. And Lamar Miller does get targets. He's been averaging 4 the past few games. And then you got Kamara, Ingram. I mean, you could play them every week. Always have exposure to them. One of them is always going to go off. I got Alex Collins from Baltimore. He's been the number 1 running back for Baltimore for a few weeks now. And Tennessee is I looked at the wrong thing. Tennessee's 14th against the run, 29th against pass backs. I told you that was Baltimore. You guess I didn't write down Baltimore. I only write down people that I think have good matchups. So, yeah, probably not going to play Murray. But Alex Collins, he's been getting a lot of workload for a very low price. Anytime you can get that much touches for a running back for that low of a price, you play him. He's going to return you value. I think he gets you double-digit points, and for his price on FanDuel, he is $5,900 for a starting running back who the last few games, let's see, I'm going to try to convince you guys to play him. 5, 7, 3, 15. There you go. But Ravens coach John Harbaugh said he expects Collins to get more opportunities going forward. He's been the starting back, and he's got a good matchup. So I like him. I think that's an upward trend, getting more carries. I don't have all his breakdown of his carries on me right now. I had him earlier. I didn't write down everything for these videos. I just say who I like and talk about him and why. But yeah, he's been getting more carries. And DeAndre Washington. So this one's kind of ugly because he's in a split back committee for Oakland, but he's got a good matchup against Miami. It should be a higher scoring game, I think. And Miami's 26 against passing backs. The over/under, let's go my little quick cheat sheet, 44. Yeah, that's not great. I would bet on the over. I think Oakland puts up some points, but especially coming off that loss, Derek Carr being fully healthy, Crabtree being good away from home, Miami not being good against wide receiver 2. I think Carr moves the ball just fine against them. And DeAndre Washington, if you need a flex play or a lower owned, cheaper running back to play Hunt and Gurley, then yeah, you could play DeAndre Washington. So I like that. As for wide receivers, this one's going to be chalky. Michael Thomas, I usually don't like playing him because his price, he's listed as a wide receiver 1, and he's not a wide receiver 1 according to his price. Like he was being priced up there with Julio, right below Antonio. It's like and up there with DeAndre Hopkins. No, you don't get that. Finally, he's below Dez Bryant, Tyreek Hill, which Dez shouldn't even be that high. Will Fuller, like that's inflated. All these guys. Julio's below Doug Baldwin. That shows you how bad Atlanta sucks lately. Although they just beat us, just bullcrap. But still, I actually like Michael Thomas in this. So his price has gone down. Tampa Bay has Vernon Hargreaves, very good corner as a rookie. But Tampa Bay versus wide receiver 1 is 27th in the league. So I'm going to have a lot of Michael Thomas. I might not have as much Drew Brees. Michael Thomas might be my wide receiver 1 in a lineup with Hunt or Gurley. So I'll probably do a lot of that. Golden Tate, if you're playing the Monday night, I think that's Detroit, Green Bay. So Green Bay's not great against wide receiver 1. They're not bad. And I still think Detroit's going to try to come out and score. Coming off a loss in Green Bay, they're going to try to win that. This is a big game for them. So if you play the Monday night game, Miami wide receivers, I put a question mark. Oakland sucks. Their defense, I mean, their record 3-5, not great. I like the Jets. So Oakland's not good against wide receiver 1. So if Parker's back, then you can play Parker all day. If he's fully healthy, yeah, he's got no tag against him. But Oakland is also bad against the wide receiver 2, Jarvis Landry. So I like Landry and Parker in this, and you can get Parker for a lot cheaper. He's going for 6,100, and Landry is up there at right below Michael Thomas and Michael Crabtree, 2 guys I like this week. He's 7,000. So I like Landry, but I like Parker for GPPs a little bit more. I would use him in cash too, just because the matchup's there and the price is good. I put Dez question mark because his price is a little high for his crappy output he's been doing, but I don't think they can run the ball well. And Kansas City's bad against wide receiver 1. Dallas is going to have to score. It's a very high over-under. So you could play Dak Dez. I'm not going to because I like Carr, Cam, a little bit of Wentz, and a little bit of Smith more than I like Dak for his price. And I don't think Dak Dez, the value isn't there. I don't think their ceiling is that high for how much they are. So I'm not going to play too much Dez because I think they can just double team him. Like Andy Reid's a really good coach. So, and their defensive coordinator is really good. So, although it hasn't been shown the past couple of weeks, he's a very good defensive coordinator. So, I don't care for Dez too much, but he's worthy of talking about. Crabtree, I already talked about Crabtree. Miami sucks against wide receiver 2. Crabtree's like a wide receiver 1 or 2. So, you're good there. Miami also sucks against wide receiver 2s. I don't like Cooper. He drops way too many balls. He's overrated. His price is always too high. I'll play Crabtree. I already talked about Curtis Samuel. I like Jeremy Maclin. Mike Wallace should be back. He had a nasty hit a while ago, but his back's hurt now, but he should be good. But Macklin's actually not chalky. In no way is he chalky because it's Jeremy Maclin, and he's a player on Baltimore Ravens, so who like barely have an offense. But people are looking at him this week because of his matchup against Tennessee. I don't like Mike Wallace, but I do like Jeremy Maclin in this just to return value. If you need a cheap wide receiver with a decent floor, he's a decent pick. So Curtis Samuel, super cheap. Parker, good output. And of course, Michael Thomas is good. DeAndre Hopkins is way too expensive, and now he's got Tom Savage thrown to him. Now, remember, Tom Savage pelted Hopkins with targets last year, and he's going to be very low owned. But you don't have the same output with Deshaun Watson. So if you want to get you still get DeAndre Hopkins, and he's still going to get probably, if he gets 10 targets, which I think he will, then you're going to have DeAndre Hopkins at a very low ownership now. I think if anything, it hurts Will Fuller. I don't think anyone's going to play Will Fuller at 7,800. unless people that don't really know about Deshaun Watson being hurt. So Mike Evans is expensive. He's Mike Evans, but in a shootout in the dome, I'm going to try to get exposure to him. So I just had to write him down because I forgot to write him down earlier. I don't want to forget that. So I'm going to have exposure to him. AJ Green, no. Doug Baldwin, no. I like Jimmy Graham more. Julio Jones, no. Hasn't done anything. Neither has that offense. So there's some top priced guy. Larry Fitzgerald doesn't have a quarterback. So yeah, those are my wide receivers. A couple value picks with Curtis Samuel, Jeremy Maclin. That's about it. As for tight ends, I like the top 2 tight ends. A lot of people don't pay up for tight ends. I feel like there's 2 people in DFS, people that pay up for tight ends, people that don't. Sometimes you have to split week by week basis. Zach Ertz has a hamstring that's hurting him. I think he's completely fine. He should be good, and he's got a good matchup in Denver. So I like Ertz. Travis Kelce has a great matchup in Dallas, and I have very high over-under. So I'm probably going to save $600 from Ertz and play a fully healthy Kelce who has the same, if not higher ceiling. Everyone's going to play Evan Ingram. He's huge chalk as a tight end. He's 6,300. He's averaging less than 10 points on FanDuel. No thanks. I'll take Jimmy Graham for $100 less in a much better matchup. Evan Ingram is going up against the Rams, who are good against tight ends. I'm not going to play them. You could play Cameron Brate until otherwise. Just that's a rule from now on. Like I've been playing Brate every single week. Play Brate until otherwise noted. He is 1.5 points less than Travis Kelce on average and 2 points less than Zach Ertz. And he's $1,500 less than Zach Ertz. So until otherwise noted, just keep playing Brate. If you need a tight end that's going to be low owned with a high ceiling for a tight end, stick him in there. I like Jimmy Graham, Travis Kelce, and Ertz. I'm going to be paying up for tight end. I'll be paying up for running back. I will use Curtis Samuel, Jeremy Maclin, Crabtree, Parker, stuff like that for my wide receivers to make up for that price gap that I'm going to have to take over. Also, Indy Houston, I don't know, that's an ugly game now, but Houston is 30th against the wide receiver 2. The thing is, Indy has Kamar Aiken as a wide receiver 2, so that sucks. And on top of that, T.Y. Hilton is really good on turf. So I feel like T.Y. Hilton's usable this week, but Kareem Jackson came back for Houston. So that's tough, but coach did say for T.Y. Hilton, they need to spread him around more and get him the ball. Anyway, this is back-to-back weeks of saying we need to get T.Y. Hilton the ball more. He's coming off, 21 points, and then he went 2 points, 3 points, 2 points. Like, that's disgusting. I just don't see a player like T.Y. Hilton on turf against Houston, a suspect secondary, in what still could be a decent scoring game. Not as high, but now it's going to be a slightly closer game. I think they're going to need T.Y. Hilton more than ever, and I think he's going to be low ownership. So I like T.Y., but I'm not giving you any value. Like Jeremy Maclin, 6,300 on FanDuel. That still doesn't give you – that's not good value for Jeremy Maclin for what you need. Like Devin Funchess is 6,100. Why would you not play Devin Funchess, save you money? And as I'm writing down Funchess, like, why not play Devin Funchess over him? Devontae Parker, I'm just trying to scroll down to some cheaper guys to find a little bit. Ted Ginn for 5,700 against Tampa Bay. Like, yeah, I'm going to write that down. That you can play that just for the boomer bust. He's averaging 10 points, and now he's at home against a horrible Tampa Bay secondary. So you're good there. Corey Davis is back. He's playing Baltimore. I don't care if he's back or not. I'm not going to play him. And yeah, that's tough. You can make a case for Willie Snead as a low ownership in a high scoring game. I will have low ownership to Willie Snead. And then Seattle against wide receiver 2. because no one throws to Richard Sherman's side. So sometimes he shadows. The wide receiver 2 steps up. Washington is going up against Seattle. I think it's going to be a decently scoring game. Seattle doesn't score unless the other team scores, it seems. They have the opportunity and potential to score 40 points a game. They just don't feel like it. But their defense isn't as good as it was. I think Kirk Cousins goes in here and doesn't do what Deshaun Watson did by any means last week. But I do feel like the wide receiver 2 for Washington can score some points. And that is listed right now as Josh Doxson. Terrell Pryor got bumped all the way to wide receiver 3. So Josh Doxson, he's cheap. He's 5,300, but he's got a good matchup at Seattle somehow. So, and then Denver against wide receiver 2s. Wide receiver 2s are Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith's 5,000. And Carson Wentz has been just throwing left and right. I don't like that. That's tough. So yeah, I'm not seeing many good picks down here. So I don't like a lot of people this week. And that either means my core group of guys are going to go off and I'm going to have a great week because all my lineups do well because I only like 4 to 6 quarterbacks. And I only like a handful of running backs. So I usually like a ton of running backs, but I don't like too many. And I only like a little bit of wide receivers and a few tight ends. So that should help your lineup, your roster construction, because I only listed 3 tight ends that I liked and 2 of them were expensive. So you didn't even need all that. But Evan Ingram's going to be the chalk. I'm going to fade him completely. I'm going to play Jimmy Graham and Cameron Brate over him. And Cameron Brate against New Orleans is going to be a great pick, I feel. New Orleans is decent against the tight end, but in a high-scoring game in the Dome where Cameron Brate's averaging 11 on FanDuel, so he's averaging even more on DraftKings. Yeah, I'll take that all day. Houston is not great against the tight end. Jack Doyle just had a coming-out party, so there's that. Delaney Walker, I don't like playing him. He looks like he's hurt, so I'm not going to play him at all. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So don't try to church it up. Don't church it up dirt. Like, just keep it simple, stupid. And then without Ezekiel Elliott, Jason Witten should get a slight uptick. So if you need more tight ends, Witten, Brate, Jimmy Graham are definitely playable. The only thing is they're 59, 61, and 62 on FanDuel price. So I don't know what they are in DraftKings. I haven't checked out the I don't have the prices memorized. Sorry. But yeah, that's it for tight ends. So Carr is my favorite quarterback of the week, and followed by probably Cam. And I like a little bit of Wentz, but I am going to play Alex Smith a lot more. And I like Kareem Hunt. I'm probably going to play Smith Kelsey, Smith Hunt, and then try to find value other places. I like Gurley. Who cares? Everyone likes Gurley. He's the number 1 fantasy running back right now. Big whoop. Like, that's not a hard pick. So I also like Doug Martin, Kamara, Ingram. I really like that Tampa Bay New Orleans game. I'm going to have exposure to that in Kansas City's offense. I like Alex Collins as a value pick to try to get you a better tight end or a better running back 1. So I like Alex Collins and DeAndre Washington. They should both be cheap. Michael Thomas, if he plays Monday night, Golden Tate. And then I like Miami's wide receivers because I feel like Jay Cutler is going to be – he gets his target back. He likes Devontae Parker. And I like Landry. If you want to play Dez, they're going to be forced to throw. Play Dez. I'm actually going to go more with Witten now that I look at it. Crabtree, Curtis Samuel, and Funchess. Funchess is going to be chalk. That's fine with me. I'm still going to play him in cash, but Curtis Samuel more of a GPP play. I like Jeremy Maclin a little bit in cash, not so much in GPP. I like Mike Evans in anything. Like, if you can fit Mike Evans, play Mike Evans. So, and then there's T.Y. Hilton, Ted Ginn, and a little bit of Willie Snead. So Willie Snead, he hasn't done anything yet. He's been hurt. He's been suspended. He hasn't done it much, but he's still Willie Snead. He had these amazing games at home last year. He's 5,300. I don't want to play off of stuff he did last year because I don't even know what his snap count was. So I just feel like at some point he's going to be used. He's still Willie Snead. He was great past 2 years. Drew Brees likes him. I see no reason why he doesn't get back in the mix, and this is a good week for him. But I'm still going to have lower exposure, and I'm going to have more exposure to Ginn and Kamara instead of Willie Snead. But yeah, other than that, so those are the games I want to target: Kansas City, Dallas, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I like Oakland's offense this week. Yeah, and that's about it. And a lot of these games are really ugly, so I'm going to only heavily target a few. But that makes for either a really good week or a really bad week. So sorry the video came out late. I'm only going to have a few views. Oh, well, I had other stuff going on. I wasn't even going to make a video, but I was like, game doesn't come on until like 8:30. So hopefully that helps. Drop a comment. Hey, that was a dumb pick. Hey, thanks for last week, or thanks for nothing. One guy last week was like cussing at me saying that you say stuff just to take people off the main picks. Well, I definitely talked up Russell Wilson and Ezekiel Elliott, LaShawn McCoy, Melvin Gordon, and gave some value picks like Blunt and Mixon who returned value. So I don't know. I guess that guy like freaked out. But yeah, those comments, you can put them on there too. Like I'll just make fun of you in the next video. But hopefully these videos help you out. If you listen, I do a lot of research. You don't have to. You can just watch a couple videos and you're good. So hopefully it helps. Drop a comment, see who you like and why. And that's all. Thanks, guys.